Any second now, we should be live. There we
Yeah,
go.
it says it's starting.
Live stream with the Martin
Hmm.
Fowler Scrum on Wednesday. And we have today Sam, Lokesh, and Matt. And we'll do what we usually do is go around. I guess I'll go first. I was working on let's see, yesterday, I guess when we get to Lokesh, we can add some suggestions for his test. We'll see if he's all set. I looked at Google Analytics a little bit, and I started up the started looking at the tasks for Event Manager,
Hmm.
taking into account that we're gonna use that. For now, I actually put in the repo that prototype screen where you have live event in 2 minutes, starting live event with
Right.
on it. So I want to start building that out in Ember and Rails, I guess, the prototype of that.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So I've got a couple tasks, new tasks in there to add Ember to the Event Manager project and upgrade Rails. So
Hmm.
can get started on that right away, and maybe we can pair. I was hoping next week maybe you and I, Sam, could
Yeah. Sounds good.
do some work together on that. Um, so that's the big thing I think I have.
Hmm.
Sam was next, so I'm not blocked on anything. I got lots to do, so that's good.
Cool beans. Yeah. Yeah, the main thing I did this morning is I focused the blog now on looking at the website and sort of justifying that change we made to getting started. I also made significant changes to the premium page to kind of to swap it over from, gosh, what is it? From just general descriptions to like more questions. In fact, why don't I like show you specifically what I changed if I can find the Hangout again. Where's the Hangout one? In the background, Matt, I don't know if you want to share the what's it called? The YouTube link. But anyway, yeah. So here now, like the premium membership page, we've just turned it into like a series of questions about what the person might want. Do you want any of these things? And then I've sort of adjusted the descriptions underneath to sort of correspond to these things. I mean, there's maybe too many of them or what have you, but we'll keep analyzing them with analyzing changes with the plugin and Google Analytics and so on. So there's this really nice feature here where you set the date for the Google Analytics plugin where you can compare between one period and another. So we've got there, we can see here, and this was you were asking about, maybe you worked out already, but
Yeah.
so for our change, when we adjusted it so that you land on this page first before the payment page, we can kind of see that was like 6 weeks ago, we can see the difference between that. And so there's a potential improvement there, whether that's down to the time of year, just there were more people coming through and clicking through, who knows, but it's good to see it going in the right direction. So having done that, and I'm going to keep on sort of each day trying to look at a different thing and sort out improve the flow. After working on that, I moved on to just working through the admin. I have put in a pull request to try and get Chatlio onto the main site. Particularly as I was going through the analysis, and I was seeing that we don't seem to be able to get from Google Analytics much information about what people are doing on the payment page, like whether they're clicking on PayPal or Stripe or what they're doing. And it just feels, if we have a support button there where people can sort of say, oh, oh, like, do you accept credit cards? Do you know what I mean? Like at that point when people are considering the purchase, we want to make it easy for them to have a chat with us. So I've put that in. I'm on the NHS thing. I'm blocked by I can't get AutoMySQL backup to run on the staging server. I've got posted that to the Bitnami forums thing to be. I really want to be able to. I feel like moving the data from the production server to the staging server is the critical step forward there. So that's a bit of a block. But we've got the Elixir mob coming up next, and yeah, I'm just really excited about Jitsi. Seems to make the future look much brighter, whereas Hangouts was looking darker and darker. And yeah, exciting to be working out the direction for Event Manager. And so on. Other things happening today. We've got the async voter thing later today. Yeah, that's my update really. Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Sam. Lokesh, how are you doing? Can we?
You're muted at the moment, Lokesh.
Yeah. Okay. So yesterday, Matt suggested me the cucumber test improvement, and which I have now integrated into the pull request. And I think now the test is making a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
You can see my screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, it's making better sense now.
Mm-hmm.
I've used the suggestion that I manually set the Hangout link to a different URL. Earlier I set the Hangout link for the same, and then I set different link. And I think now if there could be a problem, that would be in this step, that I had to write this visit event path because
you have to simulate reloading the page.
Yeah, and it's hard to explain why. Even I do not understand why this thing. Because if you do not use this thing, the event instance doesn't get created. That's a problem. And if I use this thing, then the event instance gets created.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe I don't know if what's happening. I mean, we've got the issue there that we're triggering click on the save thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess in principle, that should. Anyway.
I think it's waiting for an AJAX request, right?
I guess it's an AJAX request. Yeah. So
yeah.
Right. So I guess it's maybe, if it doesn't, like, I mean, the AJAX request will go anyway, but I guess if the step ends, then potentially the server shuts down or something gets lost. I mean, I guess opposed to doing Capybara, there is use one of the wait for the, like, what you could try instead of just visiting the page again is you could try waiting for the join now button to appear. I'm not sure that maybe doing that save thing doesn't. Matt, do you remember, like, when we click save, does it automatically make the join now button appear? Does it refresh the page as a result of that? Maybe it doesn't.
I think it just appears. That's why I thought that's why maybe that link I have does something about waiting.
Yeah, I mean, there's like, and in fact, you don't need to specifically wait for that AJAX event. Like, that was the old way of doing it. Like, now Capybara, basically, as long as you just look for the presence of some element that changes that's supposed to be sufficient. Although, if the AJAX request leads to no change in the page, then that's, yeah, maybe we need something more. Yeah, it's an interesting. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not even sure if it is an AJAX request and if it saves
time, I think, in copy in and if it doesn't appear by that default time,
right?
I think there is a. I put in a link to an article there. Maybe just want to scan that real quick. I don't.
Yeah, I saw that, but I was wondering that if it's not working, then why the other tests are passing? Because other tests are using this step and they are working good.
I think it's an AJAX call and it's not.
Yeah, but Matt, I think Lokesh is asking a different question. Do you want us to show us a different test that you think is passing that does use that step?
Yeah, let me show you. For example, this test, and this is by default, and it works. Let me try removing this thing and see.
Right, but so the difference might be in the sequencing of the elements, like the step can be moved. I mean, that's the other thing to be aware of, is that the other tests may be vacuous tests. That's always the danger.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it, and I'm currently looking at the form tag for the being able to edit the event thing, and as far as I can't see anything that indicates that it would be a JavaScript event. Like, so for example, I mean, if I share my screen, right, and I go to, let's get rid of this, and I currently go to our live event. Now, I mean, this may sort of screw things up, but because it's the same URL. So if I take the URL and I go to our live event and we go to event actions, I can edit the Hangout link. Don't know if it'll actually do anything interesting there, but we can inspect the. And what I should really be doing actually is doing this in develop or something. Let's go to develop and look for the same thing. Oh, develop hasn't got that on it. Maybe staging has. Let's go to staging. Put that on staging. Go on. Yes, there we go. All right. So we're in this situation here, and let's look at the network. I assume you guys can see my screen.
Yeah.
So if we pop that in there, and then we hit save here, let's see what happens. I think that's a full page refresh. Right?
Okay.
It's not AJAX, right? That's a full page refresh, and on the results of the page having been refreshed, it now has join now on it, right? So, I mean, in principle, clicking the link, if we go like on step, when you click on that link, it should lead to a page refresh. So you should end up being on that page. But yeah, you can't wait for join now to appear because it's not going to change like automatically. I mean, like you should in principle, you should just end up on that page, and then the next step you should be able to look for the presence or absence of the join now thing. It shouldn't necessarily require a complete reload of the page, but maybe it gets. I mean, maybe it's not submitting or something.
Yeah,
anyway.
because if I because I just tried inserting like if I insert by bug here and
I can't see your screen. I can't see your screen at the moment. So what I will say is, because we've got the Elixir mob, we probably can't do what we did yesterday, which is run straight from the Scrum into a full debugging session of the system.
Yeah.
But so,
Yeah.
do you want to finish your Scrum report of what your which is so you're working on this thing? Clearly, there's some issues. So, do you want to tell us about anything else you've been working on? Anything else that's blocking you and your plans going forward?
Okay. So I was working on the test to make sure the the video bug doesn't happen again.
Right.
Yeah, and I had this idea that what we can do is there's an existing test which tests the presence of that when we click the new video, the source gets the right URL link.
Yeah.
And I think we can modify that, and also I think we can also add a line so that to make sure there are no JavaScript errors in the console.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like a great compromise approach there. We're checking the thing that we know that it works, and we know we saw an error before. So yeah, rather than running the it's funny, like when you remember, you don't have to switch back to my video to hear me. I don't know, maybe you enjoy seeing the figure. The funny thing is when you switch away from, like, you were on the Slack video, the Slack thing there, and that's the thing that we're talking about. And maybe you want to see me waving my hands around, which is great. The funny thing is when you do, because I'm focused on your screen, as soon as you switch back to me, it shows me a picture of like a very slowed down picture of me waving my hands around, which is kind of funny. But anyway. Michael does end up doing the same thing, but I think that's a great approach, great compromise approach. Like in that, it's very difficult to do the full acceptance test that checks that the video actually plays, right? But this is a good compromise against things that we want, to be able to do. So yes, let's definitely see if we can check for the difficulty we might find with the JS errors being raised is, I think in some settings we've got it set to ignore JS errors, and sometimes, anyway, see how that goes. I think it's a great approach. We may run into some trouble, but let's see if it works.
Okay, that's all.
Great. Okay. Guess what I'll just say on the previous item for the cucumber one is that I'm finding it, I don't know about anybody else, difficult to kind of follow the flow of the code, like when I'm looking at the pull request at the moment, because it's got so much chat in it. I don't know if that's bothering anybody else. Like, I kind of want to read this thing, but then it's got this, big load of discussion in there. What's the way forward there? I guess you're going to keep making some changes, Lokesh, and keep adjusting it until you're happy. Is that the plan?
No, actually, I have exhausted myself, and I don't think there exists another good method.
Okay.
I think you're fine with the visit if that works, just personally.
But that one we're looking for is the one that we're looking at there with the comments in it is the green one that passes, that has both the fix and this thing in. Yeah. I wonder, like, so, yeah, I can tell that it's definitely a time to kind of have a break from this. I wonder if, Lokesh, could you open, like, maybe close this, I don't know, this one. Right? This one is now out of date, like it's different, random stuff. Should we maybe close this one and reopen another one with just the latest version of the test that you want? Do you know what I mean?
Wait a second. It's the latest version.
This one is?
Yeah.
Well, there's two pull requests here, right?
Yeah.
There's one that's got the fix and the tests, and there's another one that's got just the tests. And so have you been updating both of these branches?
Yeah.
Okay. So what that means is that I guess I should, like, in here, okay, so this one has got 9 commits in it there, and this one has got 10 commits in it here. Right. Okay. So then in principle, so this is the one, I mean, the thing is, like, this one that says that it's not for merging, showing the failing test, has got like five files changed in it, while this one, which is like the one to be merged, only has 2 files changed in it. Like, it's kind of, it feels, I guess, like, right, I guess this is the, okay, don't worry, I'm making sense of this myself. So this one here, because the fix is already in develop, this has got the test and like only the bits for the test. And so this one was got, not for merging, has got the fix and it's got the test. So what you're saying to me is, okay, right, and so this one here I can view, this is exactly what the test looks like at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've updated. Well, that's fantastic work, Lokesh. Well done for having worked hard to up them. So I think, yeah, then I think leave it with us. Like, this is, if this has got the very latest version, then that's up to me and Matt and others to now review that. I guess
1698, Sam. Sorry.
What's that, Matt?
Are you looking at 1698?
I'm looking at 1698 and 1699. I'm comparing the two of them.
That we think is ready for merge is 98, right?
Yes, exactly. But the one that potentially shows that that the test is the right kind of test is 1699. So before we merge 1698, in order to look through the test and check that it's, you know, checking the right thing, then we review 1699.
Yes, I did that. So I'm ready. Except I just see a buy bug comment in there.
Okay. Yeah.
So in which case
okay. But
create a new PR, like you said.
No, well, not necessarily. I'm now seeing the thing that I wanted to see, which is we've got. I don't know if you can see my screen while I'm looking at here. Like, this is the we've got this. The event doesn't go live before the Hangout is updated, and so this particular error here, this is the error that we expect, right? So we should. I mean, this one is
right.
Given that, like, at 6 a.m. we had it and that was set, and then now it's gone to 7:05. This assumes that the Hangout was starting at 7. Then we didn't see it go live until the thing was manually hit again. So that's the critical thing. I say, like, so this looks like the right.
It is ready to merge, except there is a little comment in there, you know.
Yeah, and I think Lokesh was also expressing some discomfort. He didn't like the wording of the test, but anyway, so yeah, leave it with, and if you're happy, Matt, that's great. Leave it with me now, and I'll get this dealt with. Yeah, great work, everyone, working on this one. It's a tricky thing. Hopefully, a good learning experience, despite the painful ins and outs of it all. All right.
I think we finally got it.
Okay. All right. So, anything else we need to work out?
I guess that's a Scrum, unless anybody else has anything. Anything else? I'll stop the live stream and